Perfect. Well, welcome, Nick, and glad to have you on today's Academy interview and kind of our podcast series that we're putting together with a lot of exclusive partners. So appreciate you taking the time today to hop on.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So for any of the merchants that or customers that we're working with that are not familiar with Slash, Slash is an online banking platform that has really caught steam, I would say, over the last 6 months to a year, and has been one of our strong partners in terms of helping clients get up and running quickly with their banking services. And a lot of these clients that we work with are foreigners that are looking to sell into the US, get up and running. And a lot of them use like Mercury Bank or Wise or even like an Airwallex. But Slash has really taken hold of the market with their service, their online banking portal. And Nick has been a great partner in working with a lot of my high value clients. So Nick, I won't brag too much about Slash because I know I'll leave that to you, but maybe just a brief background just of yourself. I know you mentioned you're based in New York, and just a little bit of history about Slash and when you guys started and where you're at today.
Yeah, sure. Slash, we're headquartered in San Francisco. Obviously, I work out in New York, but I'm in San Francisco a few times every month. And we're one of the fastest growing fintechs in America. And of course, we support tons of verticals. And our sort of most recent big vertical has been the e-com space. And specifically, like Michael mentioned, being able to onboard foreign residents that have a legitimate business going on onto a US banking platform with huge competitive edge over any other banking platforms out there. And yeah, I don't know if I should mention it yet, but we also just raised, $41 million at a $370 million valuation. And of course, that was majorly due to a lot of the growth we've experienced over the past year. We're still exponentially growing. This is only going to make it significantly more. And a little bit of history on Slash is we have been around for 5 years. We started in the reselling space. It was actually in the Y Combinator batch. That's sort of where everything took off. And eventually we pivoted into sort of e-com while also supporting the reselling space. And now we work with a lot of, affiliate agencies, DTC brands, media buyers, any sort of business that involves e-commerce, we build for it. We allow users to bank with confidence with us.
So perfect. No, I appreciate, kind of the background. You guys have been around for 5 years and kind of dovetailed into the e-com space. So for those that, again, kind of don't know, who would you say is like your perfect ideal customer for online sellers? Obviously, people that sell online, but like what are some other details that you look for that would be a perfect customer for Slash?
So a prime client for us would be someone that obviously has a legitimate business. They do have to have a US entity. We will soon be able to onboard foreign entities, but the foreign entities will specifically be tied with users who have a significant amount of monthly volume. Otherwise, having a US entity would assist a lot, and an EIN with that. But as long as you have a legitimate business and month over month, you need cards or a banking platform to be able to either receive payments from clients or services or whatever it is, and also make payments towards ads, wholesales, whatever it is you might need, for your business to operate. That's our prime client. As long as you have a legitimate business, we'd be happy to onboard you.
Yeah, having a legitimate business is always good. And I know most of the users here in our academy do have one. That's legit. We kind of filter out the nonsense. So that's why we have a great partnership. So yeah, definitely. Run clean, run smooth. Obviously the US entity aspect, but you are looking to board foreigners here in the future. But I think you're just kind of exploiting the market within the US now. And then once you have the fundamentals and obviously the funding round helps too, that's going to allow you to kind of move into other markets in the future, it sounds like. So that's cool.
Yeah, of course. And just to follow up on that, we would be able to onboard foreign entities if they get an EIN. And getting an EIN in the US, I'm sure. Yeah, Mike, as you know, it's pretty easy. Of course, they can onboard now if they have a US entity as a foreigner, but for the future.
Yep. Okay. Well, that makes sense. Appreciate the context there. So like what would you say like are the core like 3 benefits that clients receive from your service, right? Because I mean there's so many different online banking platforms that are out there. I mean everyone and their mom I think knows about Mercury Bank, again, Wise, which is I think bucketed in as a bank, but it's really not a bank. There's global accounts or wallets like Airwallex and things like that. We mentioned that before, but like kind of, and then you have the big dogs. Like I used to work for Wells Fargo Bank. I was there for 14 years. I was on the treasury side and the payment side. I wasn't a banker, but you have these Chase banks, Bank of America. Like, what are kind of like the three benefits that separate you from these guys?
So I'd say the first big benefit would be our competitive cashback. Every single Slash account anyone opens, you automatically have access to 2% cashback. And
Hmm.
you're always able to get more than that, depending on how much spend you do with Slash monthly. So
Okay.
basically consider Slash being the min 2% cashback on all your card spend with upwards of, not going to name any numbers, but if you spend millions a month, it'll be higher than 2% a month.
Okay.
I'd say our second competitive edge would be the fact that we allow you to bank with confidence. Every single time we onboard any user, we do our due diligence prior. So that includes understanding your business, understanding your inbound, your outbound, exactly how your Slash account will look for the duration of your Slash experience. Meaning, once you're operating, we will never freeze or shut down your account out of nowhere. I know a lot
Hmm.
of competitor banks when they see a huge influx of volume, such as depositing 1 million in one day and spending that same million the following day, to a naked eye, that might look like fraud. They might look like
Yeah.
some sort of illegitimate business going on. We, on the other hand, for example, if it's an e-com guy spending it on ads, would understand completely where it's going, and not a single person would bat an eye, since we know how the business operates. And let's say there's a scenario where maybe there's a transaction we completely didn't expect, even with the due diligence we did in the beginning. We would
Hmm.
reach out via email and ask a few questions to make sure everything is fine and get a few answers for our compliance side without freezing your account at the same time. So your business operations will continue as they should. We understand that cash flow is a huge importance to a lot of these businesses. So the last thing we want is to impact your business purely because we have questions. And of course, if
Hmm.
there's a transaction that ends up being fraudulent, you're always able to dispute it with us. The third
Yep.
feature is, I'd say, just the fact that you get 24/7 support. We provide in office support, and whenever you have an issue with an account, or let's say you need access to more VCCs or whatever it may be, we'd be able to immediately help you out within seconds. And it's not going to be that kind of support where there's sort of a FAQ that we have to follow. And if we don't know what's going on, we have to reach out to someone else and try to get an answer in that way. We get an answer immediately from, in office support.
Yeah, I know. Just from the clients that I've referred over, I noticed you guys are pretty hands-on. Like it's like you swarm the customer with your team in a way, in a positive way, right? It's not overly stuffy or like that, but you kind of wrap a team around it so that way they're very comfortable with kind of next steps and moving forward. So that's been great. I can vouch for the service, and working for a bank too. There's always concern like, is my money safe, right? We've heard of these different runs on banks, and obviously some of the collapses that we've seen even just a couple of years ago with Silicon Valley Bank. Like, what gives customer certainty here that their money is safe with you guys? I know obviously FDIC insurance within the US, but maybe you can explain how the money is safeguarded working with your institution.
Yeah, sure. So we actually have, of course, enhanced FDIC insurance. And the way it works is we operate based on the Sweep network. So anytime you
Hmm.
deposit money into your Slash account, usually, of course, as you know, the normal FDIC limit is 250 grand per banking account. When you deposit money into a Slash account, it's actually spread across 800 different banking accounts on Collins End, which is our partner bank, to give every single account access over up to $200 million in enhanced FDIC insurance. And of course, that number is a bit absurd. We usually don't go around telling everyone this number, but via our website, you'd be able to see all the legal documents in regards to that FDIC insurance. So let's say you, as a client, hypothetically need a bank to park $200 million with, it would all be FDIC insured. And of course, the
Hmm.
chances of an SVB sort of situation happening with us is 0 to none. We don't do what they did on their end, but it's always great to be insured.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So the money's safe. So just so everyone knows, and again, just kind of disclosing it, just like with the likes of like a Mercury or even a big bank, the money is FDIC insured, but there's an extension with it, how you're segregating and like allocating the funds throughout different deposit account.
Exactly.
So can you walk me through the banking portal? And again, just, I use Mercury, I use Slash, I have Chase, I have Bank of America. I used to work for a bank. So I'm pretty familiar with like portals and how they work and just the ease. And there are some things like with these old legacy banks and like with Wells Fargo or Bank of America or even Chase, like I can make an example with Chase, like to get a bank letter from Chase to like verify that I'm the account holder. Like I have to go into the branch and like they don't even have like a very easy way for me to just to go online and click and just print the bank letter. Like Mercury has that, right? So
Yeah.
it's like very easy for me to do. What would you say, like if you were to walk through the portal, like what are the things that customers say they really like about your portal and like the online interface? I have my insights, but kind of want to hear it from you and what your customers are saying.
Yeah, sure. So, upon login, our goal with Slash is to make it as simple as possible. You're gonna get access to the homepage, and in the homepage, you have a brief overview of your balance. You know, you're available to spend the past few transactions and the recent cards you kind of generated. Sending money in is very easy. You have a button that literally just says "Move Money," and from there, you get access to our Plaid integration, wire ACH info for both domestic and international transfers, and of course, crypto deposits, if that's of interest, you're able to apply very seamlessly through that option. But
Mm-hmm.
I'd say the best part of our interface is the cashback button. With our super competitive cashback, you'd be able to easily click that button on the 25th of every following month and immediately redeem straight cash either into your Slash bank account or any external banking account. There's no strings attached with this. There's no random fees we might pile up when you're trying to redeem it or random, requirements you have to do. It's simply going to be a click of a redeem now button, and you will have that cash deposit into your bank like nothing. But overall, going through the entire platform will maybe take you around 10, 15 minutes to understand it. But our goal here was really to make it easy for a kindergartner to understand how to use it. And of course, we don't want to, flood it with random useless features. We only add sort of important aspects, such as what you said, adding a banking letter. You're literally able to go through your Slash account and get it generated for you directly there, download it, and send it to whichever platform is requesting it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Cool. Yeah, it's very, very easy, very intuitive. Like, again, like a sixth grader can probably do it with ease and probably no more than me going through the banking portal. So, yeah, very easy to use. So, in terms of like next steps, obviously, you guys have, had a big splash with this new fundraise. Like, what's the plan with the fundraise? I mean, obviously, you're involved. I know you work directly with the CEO, but this has been going on for a little bit, I would imagine. But like, kind of, what's the next kind of line of products that you see in your suite in the next like 6 months to a year and maybe 2 year view?
Yeah, so obviously, with this influx of money, we're going to scale the team. So we're definitely going to ship features significantly quicker and just be able to, let's say there's a feature a majority of ecom clients would need, we'd ship it within a week. That's our goal. Our goal is to just ship a new feature every single week. And actually, in the coming weeks, we're going to ship a treasury account, which will yield around 4% yield on your cash that's sitting in your Slash account. And we're also going to ship, like I mentioned in the beginning, onboarding foreign entities. So that's sort of the first two. We're also aiming to be the first insanely Web3 friendly bank. We already on-ramp and off-ramp crypto, but our goal is to just be an all-in-one for any sort of stablecoin / crypto usage. And I understand with a lot of e-com companies or companies online in general, with crypto blowing up, a lot of users want to be able to take payments in crypto and also send payments in crypto. So it's basically, to give you a dumbed down version of my answer, we're going to scale the team, we're going to ship faster, and any features you think you might need, like invoicing, for example, our goal is to ship it within a week.
Nice. Yeah, I know crypto and stablecoins have been a hot topic. I was at the Stripe Connect conference a couple weeks back, and being able to move money without having to go through the friction of like cross-border payments and like moving
Yep.
it. And a lot of these are like intercompany payments as well. If you have one entity in Hong Kong or Europe and you want to move money kind of cross-border with ease, without friction, it's something that's really going to be kind of a spotlight over the next, I would say, 5 years. And it's going to be really interesting to see the dynamics and how things change, because I've been in cross-border payments again, almost a decade now. And it's continually evolving, and there's always been friction there, but I think there's going to be some uniformity around these stable coins and how we're going to be able to move money.
Yeah. I mean, we actually already process close to $1 billion annually, simply in just crypto on-ramp and off-ramps. But our goal is, of course, to 100x that.
Right. Perfect. Well, the other question that I had too, I know there's a lot of different, like whether there's e-com platforms, accounting platforms, like what platforms do you integrate with ease? Like QuickBooks is something that, it's kind of a reverse integration. Like QuickBooks can link into my Mercury, but I don't know if you have anything from an integration perspective that you feel like off the shelf, it's like really easy to use.
Yeah. So, I mean, Slash is a banking platform, and every time you get a Slash account, you get your own account number and routing number.
Hmm.
So, practically any sort of platform that gives you an option to connect payout banking platform, you'd be
Hmm.
able to connect Slash with ease through Plaid.
Okay.
We integrate with QuickBooks. I mean, realistically, any sort of platform that supports Plaid integration, you'd be able to integrate Slash with it. So think of Slash as just, like your Chase. Obviously, we're
Hmm.
not exactly a bank, but a banking platform, but we sort of operate in a similar way. So I would say, Stripe, if you have Stripe or Shopify and you need somewhere to send your ACHs to as payouts, you can send it to Slash, and you can do the same thing vice versa.
Right. Yep. Since you guys are a part of the Plaid ecosystem, wherever Plaid's accepted or integrated, you're able to plug in, you'll be able to see your banking credentials right there. So,
Exactly.
got it. Got it. Okay.
And I do want to add on,
Hmm.
if there's any platform that for some reason Slash isn't able to integrate with, simply you could message me or whoever the account manager will be of, whatever account it is, let them know that you'd like this integrated, and we'd probably have it shipped within a week.
Perfect. No, that's great. Great to hear. And again, I know the team is small and nimble. You're looking to grow the team, but again, the communication's been great. I think just for a lot of the sellers and merchants that are in our academy or have worked with us, the most important things for them are ease to get up and running. You check that box. I think making sure the money is protected. You guys check that box. And then just the support. Like I've worked with customers that had millions of dollars stuck in Wise where their account was closed. They couldn't, move money at all. And we've had to get those funds out, and we moved in, to your bank or another bank. So, protection or just security, it sounds like you guys obviously have that. I haven't had any issues with you, so we'll keep that streak alive. And then again, just like platform ease, just ease of use. So there's ease of setup, just get up and running quickly, but there's also ease of use. And I think again, if you're used to Mercury Bank or you're thinking of switching and maybe you're concerned with your funds with Mercury, it's very easy to use. So there's no issues in terms of like, if you can use Mercury, you're going to use Slash. It's going to be the same feature sets. And I think yours is probably more sexier, I would say, but it's really the same stuff, and you're going to get the cash back and just better support,
Yeah.
in my opinion. That's kind of it from my side. I mean, I do appreciate you coming on the call today and really just kind of opening up. And I know we're in several different communities together. And I think as you guys start to grow, you'll start to see a lot more customers kind of migrating their funds over to your institution. So appreciate you just coming on the call today and explaining a little bit more in detail.
Yeah. I mean, of course, and I just want to reinforce the fact that we at Slash, we're an open book. Whatever I say is the complete truth. There's no sort of full truth or extended truth. I don't stretch it.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I promise with great support, allowing you guys to bank with confidence, and just making sure you guys get the most competitive cash back out there with no strings is a promise from me to you.
Yep, absolutely. So just on a final note, so if anyone is interested in, setting up an account with Slash, it is free to do so. I mean, obviously there's initial funds and deposits, and that's something maybe I'll confirm with you. Is there like a minimum deposit, or what does it take to open the account? I forgot to cover that.
Yeah, so there's actually no minimum required to open up a Slash account. The only thing is when you're applying for your Slash account, make sure you provide proof of the fact that you have business operations going on. It is a little bit hard for us to onboard complete net new businesses. Usually we try to see some sort of already ongoing business operation before onboarding. But once your Slash account is onboarded, you realistically could let it sit for an hour, sorry, not an hour, a year or two, and nothing will happen. But of course, we encourage you to use the Slash account, try to switch over operations. And I mean, it doesn't hurt you at all to just get a much better banking experience compared to, whatever competitor you might be using prior to us.
Yeah. Okay. Easy enough. So again, for those of you that are interested in checking out Slash or enrolling, again, it is free to do so, but obviously you need a legitimate business. And typically when you open an account, you want to have a motivation to put some money in there, try it, test it out. But based on what I've seen, it's been great for the customers that have worked with me. So if you are interested in setting that up, there'll be a link right below the video here that you can click into, and that'll be associated to our partnership with Compaytence and Slash here. And then Nick and his team will be able to support you through that journey. So again, just click the link right below the video. That'll take you to the Slash enrollment platform, and you'll be able to set up and get moving pretty quickly. So thanks again, Nick, for the call today, and pleasure again working with you, and look forward to the future together.
Yeah, I'm excited to onboard your clients and give them the best banking experience out there.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it.